You are sitting in your favorite chair, watching television, or perhaps you are out for a walk on a pleasant afternoon. You feel fine. You have no pain, no warning signs, and no idea that inside your body, a microscopic disaster is unfolding. Deep within a blood vessel in your leg or perhaps near your heart, a clump of blood cells has stuck together. It is small at first, but it grows, gathering platelets and fibrin like a snowball rolling down a hill. Suddenly, this mass breaks free. It travels through your veins like a bullet in a chamber, moving silently toward your lungs, your heart, or your brain. When it strikes, life changes in a split second. It is a stroke. It is a pulmonary embolism. It is a heart attack. This is the reality of blood clots, the silent killers that claim more lives annually than car accidents and cancer combined. For decades, the standard medical advice has been to take a daily baby aspirin to thin the blood and prevent these catastrophes. While aspirin works, it comes with a heavy price. It can erode the lining of your stomach, leading to ulcers and internal bleeding, trading one life-threatening risk for another. But nature, in its infinite wisdom, has provided us with a pharmacy of foods that can achieve similar results without the dangerous side effects. These are ingredients that don't just thin the blood, they actively keep your arteries flexible, lower inflammation, and prevent the platelets from becoming sticky in the first place. Today, we are going to explore 7 powerful foods that dissolve the risk of clots naturally, keeping your circulation flowing like a rushing river rather than a stagnant swamp. To understand how to stop a clot, you have to understand what blood actually is. We tend to think of blood as a simple liquid, like red water, but it is actually a complex soup of cells, proteins, and fats. When your arteries are healthy, this soup flows smoothly. But when your arteries are damaged by high blood pressure, smoking, or sugar, the body tries to patch the damage. It sends out platelets, tiny cell fragments that act like glue. If your blood is too thick, or if you are chronically inflamed, these platelets get confused. They become hyperreactive. They start clumping together even when there is no cut to heal. This is the beginning of a clot. The goal of natural blood thinners is to calm these platelets down and to reduce the viscosity, or thickness, of the fluid itself. The first food in our natural arsenal is perhaps the most rapid-acting agent for circulation, cayenne pepper. This is not just a spice to add heat to your chili, it is a cardiovascular miracle. The active compound in cayenne is capsaicin. When you ingest capsaicin, it acts almost immediately as a vasodilator. This means it physically widens your blood vessels and arteries. Imagine a narrow, clogged road suddenly expanding into a 4-lane highway, the traffic clears instantly. That is what cayenne does for your blood. It removes the pressure and allows blood to rush through areas that were previously stagnant. But it does more than just open the doors. Capsaicin contains salicylates, which are natural compounds that prevent platelets from sticking together. In fact, cayenne is often used by herbalists in emergency situations to help stabilize a patient suspected of having a heart attack while waiting for an ambulance, because of its ability to equalize blood pressure and stimulate flow. You don't need to eat a raw pepper to get the benefits. Simply mixing half a teaspoon of high-quality cayenne powder into a glass of warm water in the morning can jumpstart your circulation for the entire day. Moving from heat to flavor, we find the second powerhouse, garlic. Garlic has been revered as a medicine since the time of the Egyptian pharaohs, and modern science backs up the ancient wisdom. The magic of garlic lies in a sulfur compound called allicin. Allicin is what gives garlic its pungent smell, but it is also what saves your life. It works by reducing the stickiness of your platelets. Think of your platelets like Velcro. Garlic turns that Velcro into smooth silk so they slide past each other instead of hooking on. Furthermore, garlic attacks the plaque that narrows the arteries. Over time, it helps reduce the accumulation of cholesterol on the artery walls, giving the blood more room to move. However, there is a critical mistake most people make with garlic. If you chop it and throw it immediately into a hot pan, you destroy the allicin. To activate the medicine, you must crush or chop the garlic and let it sit exposed to the air for 10 to 15 minutes before cooking. This allows the enzymatic reaction to occur that creates the allicin. Eating 1 to 2 cloves of fresh, crushed garlic a day can significantly lower your risk of thrombotic events. The third food is a root that is often paired with garlic, but works through a slightly different mechanism: ginger. Ginger contains gingerols, compounds that are powerful anti-inflammatories. Inflammation is often the root cause of the vessel damage that triggers a clot. By cooling down the inflammation in the veins, ginger prevents the body from initiating the clotting response. But ginger is also a natural source of salicylate, the exact same acid found in aspirin, acetylsalicylic acid, but in a natural, buffered form that doesn't tear up your stomach lining. Studies have shown that regular consumption of ginger can reduce platelet aggregation, that clumping effect, just as effectively as low-dose pharmaceuticals for many people. It relaxes the muscles surrounding the blood vessels, lowering blood pressure and ensuring a smooth, rhythmic flow. A strong cup of ginger tea, made by boiling slices of the fresh root, is a daily ritual that warms the body and keeps the blood thin. Next, we have a spice that tastes like dessert but acts like medicine: cinnamon. Cinnamon is a potent anticoagulant because it contains a compound called coumarin. Coumarin is actually the substance from which the drug warfarin is derived. It is incredibly effective at thinning the blood and preventing coagulation. However, because it is so powerful, you have to be careful with the type of cinnamon you use. The common cinnamon found in most grocery stores is cassia cinnamon, which has very high levels of coumarin, so high that large amounts can actually stress the liver. You want to look for Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon has enough coumarin to be effective for blood flow and blood pressure regulation, but not so much that it becomes toxic. Sprinkling a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon on your oatmeal or in your coffee helps manage blood sugar levels, which is crucial because high blood sugar turns your blood into a sticky syrup that is prone to clotting. While we are discussing spices, we cannot ignore the golden wonder, turmeric. We have spoken about turmeric for the brain and joints, but its active ingredient, curcumin, is also a hero for the cardiovascular system. Curcumin works on the endothelium, the thin lining of your blood vessels. When this lining is healthy, it releases nitric oxide, a gas that tells the vessels to relax and open up. Curcumin heals the endothelium and prevents the buildup of fibrin. Fibrin is an insoluble protein that forms the mesh structure of a blood clot. It acts like the net that catches the platelets. Curcumin helps prevent this net from forming too tightly. Remember, just like with brain health, turmeric needs black pepper and fat to be absorbed. A curry containing turmeric, black pepper, and coconut milk is not just a meal, it is a vascular therapy session. Now, we must discuss a food that is less common in the West but is perhaps the most powerful clot buster on the planet: natto. Natto is a traditional Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans. It has a sticky, slimy texture and a strong smell that puts many people off, but you should hold your nose and eat it anyway. Natto contains an enzyme called nattokinase. Unlike the other foods we have discussed, which mostly prevent clots from forming, nattokinase has the unique ability to actively dissolve fibrin that has already formed. It essentially eats the clot. It is so effective that scientists measure its potency in fibrinolytic units. In Japan, where natto is a breakfast staple, the rates of heart disease and thrombosis are significantly lower than in the West. If you cannot find fresh natto or cannot stomach the taste, nattokinase is available as a supplement, but eating the whole food provides a synergy of probiotics and vitamin K2 that protects the arteries from calcification. The final food group is not a spice or a root, but a healthy fat, omega-3 rich fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. The cell membrane of your platelets is made of fat. If you eat a diet high in trans fats and vegetable oils, your platelet membranes become stiff and sticky. When you replace those bad fats with the omega-3 fatty acids EPA and DHA found in fish, the membranes of your platelets become fluid and slippery. They physically cannot stick together as easily. Omega-3s also lower fibrinogen levels, a protein involved in clot formation. Think of it as changing the oil in your car. You are replacing the thick, dirty sludge with clean, high-performance synthetic oil. Eating fatty fish 3 times a week is one of the most scientifically validation strategies for keeping blood thin and flowing. There is one more ingredient that isn't food, but is the most critical blood thinner of all: water. You can eat all the garlic and ginger in the world, but if you are dehydrated, your blood will be thick. Blood is mostly water. When you are dehydrated, the fluid volume of your blood drops, but the number of cells stays the same. This makes the blood concentrated and sludge-like, forcing the heart to work harder to pump it and drastically increasing the risk of a clot forming in the slow-moving currents of the legs. The simplest, cheapest, and most effective way to prevent a stroke is to drink a large glass of water the moment you wake up and keep drinking throughout the day until your urine is pale yellow. A word of caution is necessary here. Because these foods are so effective at thinning the blood, if you are already taking pharmaceutical anticoagulants like warfarin, Plavix, or aspirin, you must consult your doctor before making drastic changes to your diet. Adding high amounts of ginger, garlic, and nattokinase on top of medication can thin the blood too much, leading to bleeding risks. This is proof of their power. They are not placebos, they are physiologically active. Blood clots are scary because they are silent, but they are not inevitable. They are the result of a stagnant, inflamed, and neglected system. By incorporating cayenne, garlic, ginger, cinnamon, turmeric, natto, and fatty fish into your daily life, you are changing the very composition of your blood. You are turning it from a sticky, dangerous substance into a life-giving river that nourishes every cell in your body. You are taking control of your vascular health, ensuring that your heart beats easy and your limbs stay light. Don't wait for the warning sign that might never come. Start thinning your blood naturally today with your next meal.